Facebook and why you almost always are going to start with Google. Now, you've probably heard Google and Facebook, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they are the two biggest advertising platforms on the internet as far as where you can get the most traffic from. I know when I think of any kind of business I'm starting, anytime I'm doing any consulting for anyone who wants to generate more leads, I look at Google first and I look at Facebook after that. So these are really the two biggest source of leads, and they're both pay-per-click. You could both, if you have your landing page done, you set up a Google campaign or a Facebook campaign, and then both of them are usually approved the next day, and within 24 to 48 hours you have leads coming in. And I'll talk about kind of the differences here, but I almost always start with Google. And here's the thing, is that there's just no higher quality lead than Google. When someone's typing in a need into Google, into the search box, that is the highest quality lead, period. So that's where you want to start. It's the most focused, and typically, when we start our campaigns, when I get into your Google campaign setup, I'm going to also have you start with the most focused keywords as well. So they're highest quality keywords that are going to generate the highest quality leads. You start with those. Just like, when you're thinking of which advertising platform you want to start with, you want to start with Google, because people are searching on Google. That's a high quality client. That's someone who's looking for a need right then and there, right? Someone types in chiropractor Cleveland into Google, and you're a chiropractor in Cleveland, and they find your ad at the top of the page and go onto your high converting landing page, you're not going to find a hotter lead than that, period. So start there and expand later. If your clients want more leads and you've expanded the search campaign as much as you can, then Google image ads, banner ads that run on websites that allow Google ads, is the next best way to expand. So we'll get into this more again when we start talking about the Google campaign setup, but there's a Google search network, which is basically when you go to google.com and you type into the search box, that's a Google search campaign when the ads appear there. Now, another thing that Google has is called the Google Display Network, and the Google Display Network runs ads on websites, and there are tons and tons and tons of websites that allow Google ads. And obviously when people click on the ads, the website owner makes some money, Google makes some money, and you get charged when people click on your ad. So without getting too much into that, Google search is number one because people are actually searching for the need. Google image ads are banner ads, and you're basically going to have those ads placed on sites that have the keywords you're looking for on that site or in that industry. You can actually pick which sites you want your ads to run on and exclude sites that you don't want your banner ads to run on. So for me, typically, on the next slide, I'm going to show you some cool things about Facebook and when I would use Facebook, and potentially where I would use Facebook first. But here, I almost always just want to get into your head that, especially with a local business client, you're going to want to start with a Google search first, and then you're going to go to Google image ads, and I'm going to give you the high converting Google image ad, a proven high converting image ad that you can use across any niche, and it's going to convert really well for you. That would be number two. And then number three, Facebook is usually my number three option, except let me show you some cool things about Facebook here. Cool things about Facebook ads is that you can target. Facebook has a lot of information about their users that Google doesn't have, right? If you go on a Google search, Google doesn't know if you're a male or a female. Google doesn't know if you're, between the age of 20 and 30 or between the age of 50 and 60. But Facebook knows this stuff because when you fill out your Facebook profile, you say if you're a male or a female. You say what your age is. You give your date of birth. And also, you say you're in your profile, you're going to say you tell some stuff about you. And when you click the like button, a lot of people don't know this, but if you're on Facebook and you click that you like something, let's say you click that you like BMWs, it's going to, then someone afterwards can run Facebook ads targeting people that like BMWs, and those ads would only appear to people that either clicked the like button on something to do with BMW or actually have the word BMW in their profile. So that's what's cool about Facebook, is that you can do some very specific targeting. So if you know that you have a very specific target market of females age 40 to 50 that like Louis Vuitton, then you can run Facebook ads targeting females between the age 40 and 50, that like Louis Vuitton. As a matter of fact, if you're a female and you're listening to this right now, it's very likely that if you're on Facebook, you see ads that are for women's shoes all the time, or you see ads, and if you're a male, it's likely that you're going to see things that are more male related, maybe something about how to get buff and how to, get more ripped in your muscles or something, So that's people targeting male and female and targeting on Facebook. Now, here's the one time that I probably would use Facebook ads potentially over Google ads, and that's if I was selling something to the doctors themselves, right? So think about this. If you were trying to sell a product, and this is a little off track here, but I just want to kind of show you the only time I would really use Facebook ads first, but why I typically would not for local businesses. So let's say you're trying to sell something to doctors, or you're trying to sell something to a dentist or an attorney. What keyword would you bid on in Google, right? You wouldn't bid on the keyword doctor because you're going to get a lot of bad clicks. And when we get into the Google campaign setup, I'm going to talk a lot about this. Good clicks and bad clicks and how to avoid bad clicks and things like that. So think about that. If you bid on the keyword doctors, you're not going to get doctors clicking on your ad. You're going to get people looking for a doctor in their area. So that's a bad click. If you were trying to target dentists via Google, what would you type in? Now, really, if you want to get smart about it, what I would type in is probably a keyword that only dentists or doctors would type and that no customers would ever think of typing, right? So maybe there's some type of tool that a dentist uses that only a dentist would type that into Google. No normal customer would know what the name of that tool is, some crazy name, let's say. So you maybe would bid on that keyword so that only dentists are typing that. But with Facebook, it's even easier because you can actually set up a campaign that only targets people that have the word doctor or have the word dentist or have the word attorney in their profile, and that way your ads would only be showing to doctors or dentists or attorneys. So that's the one case that I might use it. As a matter of fact, another really interesting, here's when I did use it for a local business client. I just remembered this. So I had an attorney client, and my client that was an attorney, he had a lawsuit going on. This is really interesting. The attorney had a lawsuit going on against a major retailer that has stores all over the country. And he said to me, hey, we're trying to get as many people that used to work for this big retailer. I'm trying to get a hold of these people, as many of them as possible. We need to get them involved in this lawsuit. They could all be, they could all benefit and make money from this lawsuit we have going against this big retailer, right? So in that case, I was like, well, how do you target? So let's say it wasn't Walmart, but let's say it was Walmart, right? How would you target that? So you could set up a Facebook campaign that targets people that have Walmart in their profile. Though Walmart's probably not a good example because if you work at Walmart, you might not be putting that in your profile, your Facebook profile. You might not be proud of that. Maybe you are. I don't know. But another thing is that some weird people might be clicking on things that they like for Walmart. So Walmart may not be a good example. But if you had a more specific example, let's say, for example, here's a good one. Let's say you want to target people that work for Merrill Lynch or something, right? You had a lawsuit going against Merrill Lynch and you wanted to target people that worked at Merrill Lynch. Well, you probably, people who work at Merrill Lynch probably almost definitely have that in their profile on Facebook, right? Especially if they're like a financial consultant or something for Merrill Lynch, they'd have that in their profile. So basically, Merrill Lynch is now together with Bank of America, so that might not be a good example either, but you get my point here. So let's say it was Goldman Sachs instead. So you could actually set up a Facebook campaign that targets people that have Goldman Sachs in their profile, and that would actually only show ads to those people. So that's an instance where I did use Facebook for a local business clients. But for generating local business leads, Google search is almost always more effective. So someone who's looking for a doctor, someone who's looking for a dentist, someone who's looking for an attorney, Google search, as I mentioned on the last slide, is almost always more effective. So you're not really right now, you're looking to land clients that are doctors, dentists, attorneys, etc. But once you land them as your clients, the campaigns you're going to set up for them are typically going to be the Google search campaign first, Google banner ad campaign second, and Facebook ad campaign third. And typically you get enough traffic from the Google search campaign that you might not need to even go to the second or third. So I don't use Facebook as my number one option, but it's a good backup, and there's some cool things about it, and it's good to know. It's good to know about this targeting. It's good for you to learn what I just shared with you and the instances where you might want to use Facebook ads, but typically you have a client that's a local business, you're going to start with Google search first and then go on to the Google banner ads second.